guys can guess the theme, welcome to the Charming Analysis podcast. Today we are going to be talking about Gravity Falls.
Yes, the greatest show ever made.
In your opinion. I still think there's better ones out there, but it's still a good show.
Bullshit.
Shush. Anyway, so this is something that we've been wanting to do for a while now, but we couldn't do it because, fun fact, I've only seen season 1 before now. JC has seen the entire series.
Yes. I followed it, unlike you.
You shush.
I am a purist of this TV show, and God, I love it so much. It is peak entertainment.
So yeah, before now, I have only seen the first season of Gravity Falls. I didn't see the second because at the time I was not interested in it at the time. So
boo!
Stop bullying me!
Boo.
Stop bullying me!
Boo!
Don't make me tackle you, you butt. Anyway, so this is something we've been wanting to talk about for a while. We've been wanting to do a podcast on it for a while, and we decided, about a month ago, we decided, why not we do Gravity Falls for a podcast?
Yes.
So, and Jason was like, hell yes, let's fucking do this.
Because I want to hear your opinions on Gravity Falls as a whole. And, season 2, but mostly as a whole. I know it's been a long time since you watched season 1, so you probably don't remember.
It's been a couple years.
I will catch you up on season 1.
Which is fine. You can mainly talk about season 1. I'll probably mainly talk about season 2, because if I had to pick between which season is better, I say season 2 is better.
Mm-hmm.
Because, personally to me, I didn't think season 1 had much going for it, minus a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
But that's personally me. There were some things I liked about it, some things I didn't. Anyway, so, yes, we're talking about Gravity Falls for this episode. We're probably going to make it this one big episode, but if we can't, it'll probably be in 2 parts. But we're going to try and make it in 1 full episode, so let's see where this goes.
Alright.
So, since my bean happens to know more about it than me, they get to talk about it first.
Oh, really?
Yes. You've seen both of it, back to back before. You've been in
I was there when it was originally airing. I saw the original airing of Gravity Falls from beginning to end. And over the span of those 4 years, I'm pretty sure a lot of Gravity Falls fans can attest to this, that we waited a long time for those episodes to come out. So much so that they were being put on hiatus so much. And I think it really gave them enough time to flesh out, the story and characters. Of course, Alex Hirsch is a very talented guy. I don't doubt that he could have, done this even with just a normal time limit. But be honest, this is a very impressive show.
It is. I will even agree with that.
It's a very impressive show, especially for something to air on the Disney Channel like this. I don't think no one was interested in the Disney Channel cartoons up until Gravity Falls came out.
Honestly, yeah, because
everybody was talking about Disney Channel shows their live action ones. And no one was really talking about animated shows at all, besides Kim Possible and
DuckTales.
And those came out in the 90s, early 2000s. So
well, DuckTales came out a long time ago, but the reboot, everyone I know has been obsessed with the reboot. I personally have only seen the first episode of that. Eventually we may cover DuckTales, we'll see. But personally to me, Gravity Falls is one of the better shows they've had on the Disney Channel, in my opinion. It's one of the better shows that they've had on there.
Yeah.
So, because currently right now we're watching Owl House, which we'll eventually do a podcast on because we both like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get into it. Let's talk about Gravity Falls. So, you want to give them a synopsis, honey?
It's about a boy and his twin sister, and they go out into their uncle's their uncle's cabin / home of weird, eccentric gift shop known as the Mystery Shack, and they're pretty much their wacky and mysterious adventures. And oh no, they found a book. Who is the author? And Stan seems to be hiding something. What could it be? Will we find out if Chomp Gompers is really Bill Cipher? I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see.
So yeah, that's basically what it's about. Basically about these two twins named Dipper and Mabel who go to their Grunkle Stan's mystery shack and spend the whole summer with him.
Yes.
It's basically what this series is about.
Yes.
So, let's talk about season 1. You talk about season 1, then we'll both talk about season 2, because it's been forever since I've seen
What
season
can you
1.
remember of season 1?
All I remember from season 1 that I can think of is, like, a lot of, like, filler episodes. I know there was
a lot of filler.
There was a lot. I remember most of the filler. I know there was one about Gideon trying to get Mabel to be his girlfriend. I remember Dipper trying endlessly to get with Wendy.
Yep.
I remember that. I think his name was Robbie. Didn't Wendy date Robbie in the first season?
Yes.
Okay, I remember that happening. I remember, wasn't there some party besides the one in the second season that they had? Didn't they have, like, a bunch of different parties? I feel like they did. I feel like they had more than, like, one party.
Yeah, they had one party in one episode, and that's when they introduced Pacifica.
Yeah, that I remember. That
was the copy dippers.
Oh, Lord, I remember the copy dippers.
Yes.
That I remember. That's one episode I definitely remember. And I remember there was, like, another one.
Double Dipper.
Oh, Lord.
That was the episode title. I'm just going to list the episode titles, because I know them all, because of how it...
JC's obsessed with Gravity Falls.
I'm sorry!
Well, this is the thing.
What about the Halloween episode? You remember that one?
Yes. I actually did see the Halloween
Mr.
episode.
No Face.
I did actually see that episode.
Mr. No Face, long arms.
Oh, Lord. Anyway, yeah, we did. I saw the first season when it came out. I lost interest of it after the second season came out because it took so long.
Tell me why. I really want to know why.
I think it's because this is the problem with most season ones for most shows, depending on the series. But in most cases, this first season has a lot of filler, and you have to really like the characters to move on to the next season.
Which I do.
Which I know you do.
I do.
At the time, I liked it, but at the same time, it's like, it didn't give me that wow factor at the time. It didn't give me the wow factor, because they didn't really talk about Bill Cipher until, like, season 2.
They talked about him at the end.
Like, the end of season 1, which I barely remember.
Yeah.
Like, I think I saw almost to the end of season 1. I don't remember. It's been a long time.
That's when Gideon was mostly the main protagonist.
Like, for me, I didn't like the dynamic of Gideon being the main villain for, like, season 1. I personally thought it was kind of meh. But season 2, I actually like a whole lot better. I will say that. Like, I have nothing against the show itself. It just didn't pique my interest after the first season.
Yeah.
I think it's because we didn't get Bill Cipher till, like, the second season.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably when I actually started to get into it.
Yeah.
To be completely honest with you. Like, first season I watched it was kind of meh.
Mm-hmm.
I liked other shows more than it, so it kind of got flushed under, like, the wayside for me.
Yeah, plus season 2
Took
had
forever.
to be a wait to...
Yeah, but personally for me, season 1 was not my favorite of the things. I don't mind season 1's introducing the characters and doing filler. I don't mind it, but I feel like for me, it kind of has to have the wow factor to it to be able to get me to stick with it. Example, I'll use this as an example, even though JC doesn't like the show. Steven Universe. Even though there was a lot of filler for season 1, I did like the series. The characters caught me. The premise of the show caught me. This didn't catch me for some reason, and I still don't know why. Like, I like the idea of the twins doing mysteries and stuff, but it just, like... It felt like a Scooby-Doo clone for a little bit. Minus the talking animal. If you, like... No, Scooby-Doo has, like...
I would not compare it to a Scooby-Doo clone.
It's got mysteries and shit, like Scooby-Doo! Except without, like... Well, you technically got Waddles. Fuck, you got Waddles! Okay, maybe it does have... Okay, maybe. Does it have, like, a Scooby-Doo vibe to you? Because it kind of does for me. If you remember Waddles...
is always going to give you a Scooby-Doo vibe. This is a comedy mystery show.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure anything that has to deal with something like that is going to be placed under the category of cartoonish, which is why you probably think of more, like, traditional franchises and stuff like that.
You're going to have to speak louder, honey.
Like, to me... Here's the thing about season 1. Season 1 was like a season where the whole thing felt like a pilot season.
It really did.
It felt like a pilot season. They were just starting to get off the ground, and they were like, let's just do like cliches, but let's put our Gravity Falls spin on it with character interactions.
Yeah.
To me, character interactions can make or break cliches.
That's true.
And to be completely honest, like, I did gravitate toward the characters. I did find the writing very charming, very funny. And, like, you know, those moments that, like, you know, of mystery that crept into the plot every once in a while, saying, oh, who was the author? Who, like, you know, wrote the journals? And all this other stuff. It kept me interested. I wanted to see all of the weird creatures and weird designs. Because, like, that's just
I also remember the gnomes.
Yeah, the gnomes.
That is another thing I remember. The gnome boyfriend. The zombie boyfriend. I remember that.
Yes, the gnomes.
Sorry.
But I like...
And the fishing episode.
Yes. But I like weird stuff like that. That's just how I am, because I gravitate towards that. The thing about it is, Gravity Falls came out at a weird time where the only other cartoon... I was kind of getting out of cartoons at that point. So, when I, like, you know... When I saw Gravity Falls for the first time, it, like, kind of piqued my interest in liking animation again. I think 2012 was a big year for me going back into animation and saying, like, hey, I'm just going to keep this, like, to myself, because at the time I was, like, self-conscious about it.
Mine was, like, 2010 when Adventure Time came out and all those
Yeah,
shit. Mine was 2010.
I was still a kid back then, though, when Adventure Time came out. Gravity Falls came out, like, around, like, when I was, like, entering, like, preteens. So it was, like, one of those, it was just at that point where, like, it was the, like, one of the few cartoon shows that I was into. Otherwise, I was like, just, I was also watching MLP at the same time, and that's what, like, Gravity Falls introduced me to animation again. I think MLP, which I will talk about on a later podcast someday, I think it introduced me more into, like, fandom culture and stuff like that. But Gravity Falls truly introduced me to, like, mystery. It introduced me to, like, you know, the concepts of, like, how to write, like, good character interactions and stuff like that, and just, like, you know, good characters, even though, like, you know, you might not think that they're all, like, they're not all, to me they were dimensional. I can see someone, like, saying, like, the first season of Gravity Falls was, like, you know, not that interesting or not that boring because of how much cliches it wanted to do at the time, because it was just, you know, it was just getting started. I'm pretty sure, like, Alex Hirsch was just pretty much writing, like, you know, I had to set a goal in mind, but I'm pretty sure he was just writing what would make kids laugh and what would be fun in cartoons. And I wish that we did get, like, cartoons like this instead of having, like, you know, this type of, like, mostly comedy with a little bit of sprinkles of drama put into it. Like, I wish we got that instead of all this lore bullshit that we're now putting into fucking cartoons nowadays. Because that's not interesting.
I actually like lore in cartoons. I think it actually makes it more interesting, in my opinion. I don't mind comedy and stuff like that and drama, but I personally feel like lore adds to it. It makes you more immersed in it. It can add
to a story. It can add to a story. I'm not saying that Gravity Falls didn't have lore. It did have lore.
It makes you immerse more into the story, is what I'm trying to say.
But I make the argument that Gravity Falls did immerse you into that town. It did immerse you to the fact that there are just such weird caricatures in that town. And that's what made it so interesting. Like, that's why, like, I think that's why people really like it, because it's a mystery show, but it also is mostly comedy, which, let's just, like, comedy has spent generations just pretty much, like, you know, forming itself. And, like, people gravitate toward comedy because it makes them happy. And, like, you know, the episodes that, like, there's some episodes that also, like, you know, I guess you could say, like, kids needed to learn at some point. Like, there was one point where, like, where that episode, what's the episode? The Hand That Rocks the Mabel, where they first introduced to Gideon, and he's, like, being, like, this, like, really possessive person who just wants Mabel to be his girlfriend and everything like that. I think that's, like, you know, that episode, I would actually put it in, like, probably the top 10 of Gravity Falls episodes.
Really?
Yeah, I would.
Gideon's
Gideon's introduction episode. I will put that in top 10.
Why? He's a little shit.
I know, and the episode treats him like a little shit. They don't treat him like he is redeemable.
I know.
It's redeemable in Mabel's eyes and the character's eyes because that's how naive Mabel is written. She's written to be this boy crazy, eccentric. And she's written to have empathy for people. But, you as an audience member knows that, Gideon is, he's bad news. He's not to be trusted. So, when that story takes a turn, you're rooting for, you're rooting for Dipper at some point to beat the crap out of him to protect his sister. And, at no point in that episode does it, root for Gideon to get Mabel. Because at the end, Mabel and Dipper both see his facade for what he truly is. And then when you get to that ending where he reveals that he has journal too, that advances the story because, how does he have this journal? What is he going to do now that he has this journal, that he has this, he has this power? And it comes back at the final season when he finally learns, when he finally takes over the Mystery Shack. So it's and he introduces the character of Bill Cipher. But I find that, I just find that interesting. One, it's a very good lesson for kids to teach about just, I guess, it teaches just about, intrusive relationships and how that could be used against the person. It introduces, kids to what type of relationships they could be taken advantage of. And, I think legit, they made, an antagonist like Gideon to be this creepy little thing. It works. It works in that episode. I just think that, it's just a really, really just great episode for just how Mabel thinks. And, introducing this, new character who happens to be, this really creepy individual. So, yeah, I really like that episode. A lot of the episodes in season 1 I actually really like. I just think that they're, they are filler episodes. And there's nothing wrong with filler episodes. To me, there's never been anything wrong with filler episodes. It's just I think the secret is the fact that Gravity Falls was 2 seasons. If it was more than 2 seasons and it was just dragging everything out at this point, I think people would become disinterested.
Yeah, I can understand that.
But I really like season 1. I don't think nothing's really going to change that. It introduced a lot of, really cool characters, and it had, just really great character interactions.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that.
Amazing.
For me, the only stuff I liked about season 1 was, I did like the character interactions between Dipper and Mabel. I did think it was adorable. I liked Mabel's interactions with her friends. And I did like Dipper and Wendy's, interactions when he wasn't crushing on her.
Yeah.
Because it made, a brother-sister kind of relationship kind of thing.
Yeah.
An older sibling kind of thing. Because, Mabel and Dipper are both twins, even though Dipper's technically older.
Yeah.
Than Mabel by a minute or something. I don't know.
No, Mabel's technically older.
Wait, Mabel's older?
Mabel's older by I think it was 8
minutes. Dipper was older.
No, Mabel's older.
What?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me about that.
Yeah, Mabel's older, and she's 1 inch taller than Dipper.
I know she's 1 inch taller than her. You did tell me that because I noticed that when I bought you the Funko Pops.
Yes.
Because I was like, wait, why is Mabel taller? And you're like, because she's 1 inch taller. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That I found out. Yes, fun fact. JC has the Funko Pops for Gravity Falls because I bought them for them for their birthday.
Yes, and they are amazing. Shut up.
Yes. Anyway, I did like the character interactions in season 1. I feel like they could have done more in season 1. Hint more at the mystery and stuff because I don't feel like they did that enough.
They didn't do it as much. They only alluded it to when it was convenient toward the plot.
That was the thing that kind of made me stray away from Gravity Falls after that. If you're going to do a mystery thing, you need to kind of include it more in the first season to get people hooked on it. We didn't hear about any of that shit until literally the last episode. What was the point of dragging it on like that until the last episode of season 1? I saw no point in that.
I think it was just building up what type of creatures were in Gravity Falls.
That's fine, but you can still include the mystery element to it.
I know, but it included things I will admit, like, the writing, like, for season 2 did get sharper, and by the end of it was, like, more showing off, like, it was more showing off the threat of Gravity Falls and, like, how to defeat that threat more than the actual, like, mystery of it element itself. Like, I admit that. I admit that the writing is a little bit better in the second season than it is in the first season. Because, again, when you're just dealing with cliches, no matter how much fun you can have with it, no matter how much comedy you write into it, it's still going to be the same old cliches in the end.
Yeah, that's true.
But I just think season 1 is really... It's really fun. Like, but I think this is a great, like, kids show.
Yeah.
Like,
is it a great kids show?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a really great kids show.
There's stuff that could be improved on it, but overall, I think it's a good kids show.
And for me, at the time, like, I was a kid when this came out. So
how old were you when it came out?
Preteen. I was probably 12, 13 years old.
I was probably like... I think I was like... Old. What year did it come out?
It came out in 2012.
What was I had in 2012? I think I was like... maybe high school, maybe? Wait, no, not high school. I think like 7th or 8th grade, maybe. Because high school, I was like... For me, it was like 2015. So I was probably like... 6 or 7... Like in junior high, I think, is when it came out for me.
Yeah.
From what I remember. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I was still kind of in the target demographic for Gravity Falls. So
I was probably a little bit older than the demographic.
And I think it still works for me. It still works for me. Even though, like, I can admit, like, there's, like, rough, like, you know, stuff around the edges and stuff like that in the first season. Because, of course, the first season is always going to be rough. Like, I doubt that anybody's if a show goes on long enough, I doubt that the first season is going to be anyone's first, like, favorite season. I highly doubt it. But the thing about it is, Gravity Falls only had 2 seasons, and you can only compare apples to oranges at this point. So, for what it had going for, I think it is really, really good. I think there's some really great episodes in there. Like, the one I mentioned before, the Hand Rocks and Mabel. I think that the Halloween episode is really, really good. I think that the, like, you know, the character introductions of, like, Bill Cipher and Gideon are, like, excellent. Like, there's just so much good things to say about season 1, but the thing about it is I haven't seen season 1 in such a long time either. So I'm just pretty much scrapping
what you remember.
What I remember from it.
Okay.
And, like, yeah, the weaker episodes are in season 1. I will admit that. The weaker episodes are in season 1. But I really do, like, believe that, like, you can't have a good show without, like, weak, like, you know, episodes.
Like, not every episode is going to be perfect.
Yeah.
That is understandable. And I will admit that. Like, there were some things I did like about season 1, but I still prefer season 2 over season 1.
Yeah, I prefer season 2 over season 1 because I think there's more interesting things to talk about. The animation is a lot, like, it really got an upgrade and just, like, blew my expectation out of the water how good the animation turns out in season 2.
Okay, so one thing I want to ask.
Yeah.
So, let's each talk about our favorite season 1 episodes. Like, what are your favorite episodes for that? And then we should talk about,
The
like,
Hand
season
That Rocks
2.
the Maple. I forgot the Halloween episode one, the name of it.
I don't know.
Summerween. That was
Summerween?
Summerween, yeah, they had it. Summerween, which I wish could exist in real life, but it doesn't.
Yeah, because I think it was... I think that was actually my favorite episode, the Summerween one. And, like, the Double Dipper one.
Double Dipper was really
fun. Those are probably my two...
I wouldn't probably put it in, like, the favorite episode category. But.
Yeah, those two for me are probably my favorite episodes from season 1.
I'm trying to think of, like, the
I can't think of any more either.
Wait, I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I think it's something.
I gotta think of something. The one where they enter Stan's mind. I think that was the second to last episode. That was really good.
I don't remember that.
I really liked that episode, especially when, like, I guess there was, like, the scenes where, like, Dipper was in Stan's mind and he was looking at the scenes of, like, Uncle Stan,
Grunkle Stan.
Grunkle Stan. He is technically an uncle, though.
I know, but it's Grunkle, though.
It's Grunkle, though. And Grunkle Stan is, like, you know, talking down to him and explaining why he does what he does. I don't know why I felt like that for like a character. I guess in my heart I was like, oh, he really does care. and like, you know, stuff like that.
That's another thing I'm going to talk about when we talk about season 2.
You're going to talk about the relationship between Stan and the
yes,
kids.
Yes, because that's something I definitely want to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we talk about season 2, does season 1 being kind of the weaker season affect your score at the end? Like, what you rate it? Would that affect what you rate it?
No, because honestly, I think that it's like, it's not that much of a big transition into season 2. Like, the writing's a little bit better, but that's pretty much it.
Okay, I'm just asking to see if that's going to affect our scores. I don't think it's going to affect mine. I'm just asking if it's going to affect yours.
No, it's not.
Okay, so let's talk about season 2. We're going to get to the meat of the shit, people. Yes. We're going to get into the good shit. Yes. This is actually my favorite season.
Yes.
Okay, so you want to go first or you want me to go first?
You go first. I've been talking for so long.
So for me, season 1 was kind of just... Well, season 2, oh my gosh, it made it so much better. Like, season 2 actually really improved a lot of the stuff about Gravity Falls, in my opinion. It improved so much stuff. The writing was better in season 2. You have way more character dynamics in season 2. And you actually get more fucking mystery, which is what a mystery show needs. In my opinion, because it's a mystery show. Why are you going to have a mystery show without fucking mystery? Anyway, so something about season 2 that I like. I like more of the episodes of it, minus a couple here and there. The only ones I didn't like... I liked pretty much almost all the episodes in season 2, minus the sock puppet one. Because I've already seen that one before. I actually saw that one...
So, like, regardless of what you've seen before... You didn't like the episode at all?
No.
I'm really curious, because that's actually, I put it in the top 10 as well.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't mind puppets. I actually like puppets and sock puppets. Fuck, I go on the puppet TikToks. I watch puppeteers on TikTok.
I don't get why you don't like sock opera.
I don't know what it was about. I think it was the guy that she was crushing on. I didn't like the guy she was crushing on.
Well, that was the weakest part of the episode, though, to be fair.
I know. I think that's really the only...
Mabel's plot was the weakest part of the episode.
Yeah. Like, do I like puppets? Yes. I actually really like puppets. Okay?
I think the only thing...
Like, I didn't mind the actual sock opera.
Okay, I legit want to talk about sock opera because... Okay, let's start from the beginning and then go on to each episode.
Fine.
So let's start with Karaoke. The first episode of season 2.
Okay.
It showed that Stan was a badass.
Yes, first thing. Stan is a badass. We stan a badass. Fuck yes.
We stand with Stan.
Yes. Okay, first
wait,
thing.
I gotta bring up the list, but it's still gonna record so you can keep going.
Okay. But like for me, personally, Stan shines through in this fucking season. In season 1, I found him very underwhelming. I found he was like a grumpy old man, which is not like a big issue, but at the same time, it's like you kind of need to work more with the character if you're gonna do like this grumpy old man. I feel like they didn't do much with him in season 1, but season 2, oh boy, he's actually a lot better writing in season 2, in my personal fucking opinion. Here's the thing that kind of bothered me about like. Sorry, I had to burp.
There you go. I got the episode.
So for season 2, I did actually like how Stan was written for like pretty much most of season 2. Most of season 2, I think he was pretty good. Minus a couple episodes here and there, but they're like small pet peeves. Okay, so one thing that I liked about season 2 with Grunkle Stan, I like how we actually get to see more of his character in season 2. I feel like with season 1, they kind of made it kind of bleh. He doesn't really have much going for him. He's just a grumpy old man who runs a shop. So to me, that wasn't like.
Oh my god!
What?
I'm looking at. Let me see something.
What are you looking for?
No, I'm just. Oh my god!
What?
Oh, no wonder it was so fucking good.
What?
Alex Hirsch wrote all the episodes for Gravity Falls.
Really?
Yeah.
He wrote all the episodes.
Yeah. That's
well, then it's his show. He should have a part in it.
Well, either he has to take part in the director's chair or the storyboard chair. That's what most, like, people who do cartoons do. They're either a storyboard artist or they're in the director's chair, or they're the producer.
Well,
he's a writer.
He's technically a writer. Or is he a producer?
That's why he was so fucking good, because he's a fucking accomplished writer.
Well, that's true. I will admit that their episodes are really good in season 2. I don't know what happened with season 1 to season 2. I don't know if it just got better or if he just wrote better. I don't know what it was.
I think he wrote better.
I think so too, because if he wrote season 2 like he did season 1, then I would like it a lot better. Can you go back to the recording thing so I can see?
Yeah.
Okay, so because that helps me focus better. Okay, so for me, season 2, first episode, I actually really liked it.
Yeah, I really like it too.
Grunkle Stan is a fucking badass. We need more badass Grunkle Stan. I'm actually surprised at how they decide to take on Grunkle Stan for the season 2. I feel like he's a lot better written in season 2 compared to season 1. And I like his overall character. I like that he actually starts caring about these 2 fucking kids. Because I feel like he never talks about them in season 1. I feel like he doesn't look like he cares. And that's sad. Because these 2 are great fucking kids.
Yeah, I will admit, he is very, he is very... Cold to, he's very cold to the kids, especially Dipper. I think he's...
Why especially Dipper?
I think it explains why he's such cold to Dipper, because I think it reminds him of...
His brother.
There's
going to be spoilers in this section, so don't be surprised if we talk about spoilers.
Yeah, I think the reason why he's so cold to Dipper is because...
It reminds him of his brother?
He reminds me of his brother, and he has some type of resentment towards his brother, even after all these years.
Yeah. So, the thing with Grunkle Stan, I feel like... Because, to be honest, he was really cold toward the 2 twins... throughout the whole thing of season 1, and that's something that really bothered me.
Well, yeah, but the thing about it is, he was cold toward the twins and everything, but I think there was one of those things why there was a reason why he was cold toward the kids.
But we didn't learn about that till season 2.
Yeah, but there was a reason, and I'm not gonna falter that for saying, oh well, it would be a different thing if there was no reason why he didn't care for those kids.
Yeah,
it would be a totally different thing. At least they gave a reason to why he was so cold.
Did he ever ask any questions at Comic-Con about that? Or is that something that...
I have no idea. I have to go look back.
Because you've seen you've literally watched most of the Comic-Con things for this series.
Yeah, because I was following it. And every time they would post one, I would be like, oh, let me see if they answer some fan questions.
You're more dedicated to the show than I was with Steven Universe. I was dedicated to it, but I was more dedicated to finishing the series. You're more dedicated to the fandom of Gravity Falls.
I wasn't really dedicated to the fandom of Gravity Falls, because at the time...
to me.
Yeah, at the time when season 1 came out, there wasn't really a fandom to really be seen on the internet. I mean, it was there, and people
just
were
not that big.
It wasn't that big until until season 2 came, and the end of the show, where people were speculating, once the question of
who wrote the books,
and who was the author, and when the author finally came on screen, people were like, oh, now I'm a really huge fan of the show, because it answered the biggest mystery.
Yeah. So basically,
and people people were interested because of the how it brought people together, because of what Alex Hirsch inputted into secret codes and messages in there.
Did he start doing the secret
audios?
Wait, quick question. Did he do the secret codes in season 2?
Yeah.
Or has he done that throughout the entire series?
There's a secret code in every single end credits. There's a
of every episode.
Yeah, the page
in both seasons.
Yeah, the page that flashes at the end of the episode always has secrets on it. There's secrets in the intros to every single intro. There's a lot. Even in the background, there can be codes in there as well.
That's villainous when they started doing the codes. Did they get that from Alex Hirsch, or did he just start doing that?
I would not be shocked if Alex Hirsch did not influence Alan Eteril. I would be really shocked.
Yeah.
They met.
I know they met. I know Alex has met Alan Eteril, I think is how you say his name.
Yeah.
I know those 2 met. I know the people of... I know Vivzy Pop did meet Alan... I'm just going to say Alan. I can't pronounce his last name for the
Alan Eteril.
I know those 2 met. I know those 2 met. I know the Gravity Falls people met Alan.
Mm-hmm.
I think he might be a couple other people, but I can't think of it at the moment. Anyway, so season 2 for me, a lot of the stuff I liked about season 2 was the fact that Grunkle Stan finally started to warm up to the kids. That's the main thing I liked about it. Mm-hmm. That he was actually helping the kids. Yeah. And the fact that he's willing to die for these kids, even though he was very cold to them throughout the whole season. I like that he finally just like, fuck this shit, I'm going to protect these kids.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I liked about it. I liked that he was finally starting to care about the kids. That's the main thing I liked about season 2. And also the fact that there's more shit in this series, in this second season, than there was in the first. First thing, I like that they did not include Gideon as much as a villain for fucking once. He was way too much of a villain.
He was an antagonist. He wasn't really a villain.
He was such an antagonist in the first season. Like, I don't mind Gideon. It's just, oh my gosh.
I think you do mind Gideon.
What?
I think you do mind Gideon, though.
Shut up. He was okay for, like, the first, like, couple times he was in, but ever since then, he's been annoying. So fucking annoying. Anyway, in my personal opinion, I don't like him. Shut up. Okay. Anyway, so...
The next one is Into the Bunker.
Can you remember what that one was again?
It was the one where the shapeshifter and Dipper confesses feelings for Wendy.
And Wendy. Yeah, I remember that. Wait, that was episode 2?
Yeah.
I kept thinking that was later.
No.
Anyway, okay, that one also was interesting. I like the character development. I like that we actually get to see Wendy hanging out with them more than in season 1. That was one thing I didn't like about season 1. She hung out way too much with the other people compared to Dipper and them. Yeah. I thought that was kind of sad, even though she's a good character and stuff. I just wish she could have hung out more with, like, Dipper and Mabel, and we could have seen more interactions with them in season 1. I'm glad that they actually started doing that in season 2. That also made it a whole lot better, in my opinion. Yeah. Because, like, if you're going to have a character be a semi-love interest, or at least a friend, in Dipper's case, you should at least, you know, have them interact more than, like, once or twice in a whole fucking season.
Yeah, I don't know why they were, like, so fixated. Whoever was doing that was so fixated, because there was, like, a lot of episodes pertaining to, not a lot, but I didn't cover the majority of it, but there was, like, more episodes that probably should needed the whole Dipper and Wendy arc thing, and it's like, now they have this, like, to finally conclude it, and I'm happy the way they concluded it.
Yeah, me too. Like, I don't see the two being together, because if you guys don't know, technically, Dipper and Mabel are like 12 in the entire series until the end of the series when they turn 13. Mm-hmm. They're technically preteens. Yeah. And Wendy is like 15? Is she 15?
She's 15.
She's 15. Okay? So, you know, Dipper having a crush on her was kind of like, you know...
I mean, it's not really abnormal for, like, a young preteen to have a crush on, like, someone like that. It's just the fact that... Like, I never thought that they were going to go through with that. Like,
me neither.
Never. And I did not want that to happen because I think it would have been, like, so fucking weird. But it's like, now, I'm glad that they resolved that. Other than that, like, I would say, like, that moment right there, that's the only moment I remember being spectacular about that episode. The rest of the episode was okay.
If they were both teenagers, that's a totally different thing.
Yeah,
but the way they were at, I'm glad they didn't end up together. But look, say they were already 13, that probably would have been fine.
It's
because
like
they're technically still teens.
It's like that episode where Princess Bubblegum explodes and like all the candy people have to work together to fix her, and then like that clip where the kid dog just like, she's 13 now, and then Finn's like, she's exactly the same age as me. You remember that episode?
Yes, but can we please not get into that? Because it's been years since I've seen Adventure Time, and this is not an Adventure Time podcast. This is a Gravity Falls podcast.
Why did they... I don't even know why.
Can we talk about this later?
Okay, we can talk about
later. Bubblegum and Finn being a couple later. Okay? We'll talk about it later.
Finn was 13 too, right?
He was here's the thing. He started out as 10 in the series.
He was 10?
He was 10 when the series started. But by the time he got to the end of the series, he turned 13 or 14. So the story for Adventure Time, I'm just going to say this, and then we're going to talk about Gravity Falls again.
It's been a while.
From the beginning of the Adventure Time, he was 10. However, when toward the end of the series, he turned 13 or 14, I believe. I think he was like 12, 13-ish.
Okay.
So he was technically a teenager by the end of the series.
Because his voice actor grew up and he was like...
That too.
What? How old? I don't even know how old he was.
I don't know. I haven't seen Adventure Time fucking forever.
I know. You know, one of these days we're just gonna binge watch Adventure Time.
We're gonna be binge watching a lot of fucking shows.
Yeah, a lot of shows. We gotta binge watch Adventure Time.
I've watched Adventure Time, like, pretty much almost every episode, minus, like, a couple episodes of season 6.
How long did it go?
8 seasons. The only season I didn't watch was, like, the last season.
I stopped watching at season 3.
There was, like, 7 or 8 seasons.
Okay.
It was a lot, honey.
Yeah, I know. I vaguely remember Adventure Time.
Anyway, let's get back to Gravity Falls.
Yes, and let's go to the golf episode.
That I actually did like. That was a fun episode.
Not Patrick Warburton.
I don't think he was in that.
No, not Patrick Warburton. Patton Oswalt. Why did I think of Patrick Warburton?
Because he's the guy that made Adventure Time.
No, that's Pendleton Ward.
Oh.
Wow. Wow.
Don't remind me. Stop it.
Okay. So, the golf episode.
Okay, I actually liked the golf episode. The golf ball people were kind of creepy in my opinion.
Pacifica's a bitch.
Pacifica's a fucking bitch. We hate it. Pacifica's a fucking bitch. We hate it. I don't like her.
How dare she talk down to Mabel that way?
Yes. I do admit, though, she was kind of cute with Dipper for, like, a little bit, but not really.
Okay, we're going to get to that episode.
I know. Okay, so
you like that episode?
Yes. Not much to really say about it other than the fact that...
It was a fun episode.
Yes.
Okay.
And the animation was really good for, like, the golf ball scene.
Yeah, the way that they, like, you know, did the little mini golf ball, like, you know, the way that they designed those and those little, like, you know, the Putchians to be, like...
They were creepy.
They were, but they, like, you know, I like that the fact that they were, like, you know, representing of, like, what, like, you know, what each, like, hole they were faction to.
Yeah.
I really like that.
And
also I could laugh at that mining joke for days. I know how dark it is, but it's like...
Enough of that. No mining jokes.
No. The mining joke where, like, the guy, like, died... The guy, the golf ball died.
Okay.
I could laugh that forever.
Shush.
Okay.
That's probably based on something, actually. I think
I
think it's actually based on something, but we're not going to talk about that right now.
I don't remember.
I know it's probably based on something.
Okay, so, sock opera.
The sock opera. Okay, I liked her doing a sock opera. However, I did not like her love interest for this episode. He reminded me of fucking Zac Efron from High School Musical.
I've never seen High School Musical.
But with puppets.
I've never
You got a lot of shit I gotta show you.
I've yet to see that. I've never saw
There's a lot of shit I gotta show JC. They have not seen High School Musical. They have not seen Infinity Train, even though I want to see it with them. And all that shit. I can name other ones, but I'm not going to right now. Anyway, how far have you
But okay, we talked about the sock opera, the actual sock opera and puppets and shit like that. What about the main fucking story?
The main story of that episode was fine. At least we got to finally explore Bill Cipher for once this season. 3rd episode in.
Okay.
He fucking appears.
Okay.
And he's creepy as shit.
Yes, he is.
And you like this boy.
I like Bill Cipher because of how, like...
weird he is.
Okay, I don't want to say that, because it's, like, really cliche. No, I like Bill Cipher because of the fact that they put a character in a kid's show that loves to be...
a bitch.
No. He likes to be, like, chaotically insane. I think that's something to where a lot of people have tried and failed to do that because they want to make their like, you know, their villains to be like, you know,
child appropriate.
No, not child appropriate. They want their villain. No, hell no. There's downright been like kids shows that have introduced like like, you know, like adult topics that shouldn't be in their kid shows.
Yeah.
Like there's been like just the fact that he is chaotically evil, like not just evil, but he's like mischievous. He's very mischievous, and he's just a mischievous little shit. And that's what I like about him. He's a mischievous little shit. And he will literally try and like play like this like person or demon or whatever the fuck he is. He's just like he'll play this up like he's like, you know, an all-knowledging person who will give you so much power and he will help you throughout your endeavors.
He's a con man.
But yeah, he's a chaotic con man. He's a con man. He's just like Stan. He's just like Stan,
except worse than Stan.
He is, because he's a all shaking seeing eye demon.
And he's a fucking triangle Dorito boy.
Yes, he's a triangle Dorito boy. But I don't know. I like that. I like that. You know, finally we got to introduce Bill Cipher in that
after 3 episodes.
Yes, and I finally like, you know, and like that introduction where he like possesses Dipper's body to become Bipper. Like, you know, that Bipper. Yes, Bipper. So much fan art of Bipper. Jesus Christ. But you know, it was like that introduced like, oh my god, if somebody actually like trusted Bill to let them like, you know, take over their body, this is what Bill can do.
I'm surprised he's only possessed Dipper. He's never possessed Mabel.
He possessed Ford at one point.
I know that, but like that's different. Anyway.
But I don't know. I like it mainly. Like I can ignore Mabel's story because, well, I can't. Well, it's part of the. Well, it's part of the plot. But the thing about it is, I can like, you know, I can believe that is an interaction that would happen because how Mabel is boy crazy and everything like that.
Mabel boy crazy bean.
Yeah, she is a boy crazy bean. But I can like, if they were gonna explore that in an episode, I'd rather it be in an episode where it involves like, you know, some type of conflict between Dipper and Mabel, even if it is like a weak one.
Yeah.
Like, out of all her love interests, like...
This one was the weakest!
That was the weakest one.
It was sad. Sadness hours.
It was sadness hours. But it did, like, you know, introduce us to, like, cool, like, you know, cool concepts and stuff like that. Like, I just think that episode is, like, you know... I think it says something about, like, you know, their relationship and stuff like that. It's like, you know, even though Mabel doesn't really sacrifice that much for... Like, she would rather do her own thing than, like, follow, like, Dipper's way. Like, she still is willing to sacrifice for her brother.
Yeah. Okay, so I think since there's a lot of episodes in season 2.
Yeah. Let's just skim through.
Let's just kind of, like...
Oh, the next one is Susan the Real Girl.
Okay.
The end.
Let's just kind of skim through these next couple because, like, we got a lot of episodes to cover.
Okay.
You guys don't realize how many episodes there are in, like, season 2.
Okay, let's...
How many are in season 2?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4.
What are you talking like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I think 21.
So yeah, that's a lot of episodes for season 2. Wait, how many was it compared to season 1?
Season 1 had 20.
Yeah, there's like 40 episodes.
Yeah.
But that's not that bad.
So, what do you think of Susan the Real Girl?
Okay. I don't like the idea. Okay. This is something like I feel like not personally I can relate to, but I've seen a lot of shit like this with Seuss. This episode, I've seen a lot of people do this shit. Like, in general. They will like do like these dating sims and all that shit. I've seen so many anime people, like anime YouTubers do this. Like, do this trope. So I was like, this reminds me of an anime YouTuber. But at the same time, they're not recording, like, themselves. Seuss is just doing this for fun.
Yeah, and to his own degradation.
Yes.
Mental degradation.
Yes. It was just kind of weird that this fictional character was crushing on a real person.
Another fictional
character. Well, technically a real person in that universe, but a fictional character in general.
Yeah.
You get what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But I also liked the idea of them trying to build up Seuss's confidence.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a nice episode because Seuss is like a big brother to these two, and I find him very sweet. But you get to see a lot more heartwarming interactions with him in this season 2. Mm-hmm. That's another thing I like. A lot of the other main characters are finally getting better writing.
Yeah, they are.
Like, Seuss is so much better in this season, in my opinion. I actually liked his relationship with the kids. I find them, like, very nice. And also the fact...
I think because Seuss is, like, a giant man-child himself.
Yes,
really
he's like
good.
a giant... He's like me. We're both giant man-children.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, Seuss is a good guy. I did like...
Jesus.
Okay, we get it. Anyway, I also did like that he does actually get a girlfriend out of this episode.
Yeah, that was
Even
nice.
though it's something like we don't see that often in the series. It's like a minor relationship thing with the two of them, but we at least get to see it. Seuss actually gets a girlfriend in this. And I find it very sweet. Even though it's like technically long distance, it's still nice. And you do get to see her again, just so you guys know. I'm just not going to say when.
Yeah.
You do get to see her again after this episode. Not like all the time, but you do get to see her again. I also like the idea... Wait, was this the episode with like them with the time thing, or is that a different episode?
No, that's a different one.
Damn. I thought that was it.
So, I guess we'll go to the next episode. There's
Yeah.
not really much I could say about it. It's not, like, personally, like, I don't gravitate it towards as much as you do.
I like a lot of the episodes where, like, Mabel and Dipper are like, interacting with, like, the older characters.
Yeah.
Because it just makes it nice. It just makes it, like, relatable.
Family, wholesome fun.
Family, wholesome content. I like that family, wholesome content.
Okay, the next
That's
two...
my shit. That's my shit.
I like family, wholesome content, too.
But I like it more than you.
Oh, bullshit. Bullshit.
Shush.
Bullshit. I like it when
Alright,
families
next
come together.
episode.
No, okay, the next two are not really that much that there needs to be talked about. It's the little gift shop of horrors in the Society of the Blind Eye.
Okay. Let's just... Okay, see... The first episode you mentioned, it was okay. Move on. Second episode you mentioned. The only thing I liked about that fucking episode, I feel like that episode was half filler, half actually good shit. But...
McGucket getting his memory back.
Fucking McGucket is a scientist, bitch! This fucking hillbilly's a scientist!
Yeah.
Okay, this is something I liked about it. We actually get to learn more about McGucket. Finally.
Did you really want to know more about McGucket?
I actually was
besides
kinda
him being like a
crazy
Doofenshmirtz
yes.
like type person.
He's like Doofenshmirtz, but kinda
Crazy.
not. He's like a crazier old man. Like
Crazier hillbilly Doofenshmirtz.
Yeah, like Doofenshmirtz is not as old as this guy. He's like technically like old, but not that old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he gives you Doofenshmirtz vibes, except he's a lot more crazier. I like that we actually get to see some interactions with McGucket, because like I feel like he's that one character that, to be honest, he was that one character I did not expect to actually get good character development in this whole series.
Yeah, he was more of a comic relief.
He was the one character I didn't think would actually get character development in this whole fucking series.
Oh, man, McGucket spitting in a bucket.
Oh my gosh, honey. But yeah, this is one person I did not expect to get such an interesting arc. And we actually get to learn about shit.
Yes.
Fun fact, he actually knew the person that wrote the books.
Yes.
So he actually knew about it, but he didn't find out. We don't find out till the end of the episode. Like, my favorite part about this was that we actually get to find out more about him at the end of the episode. That was literally like my favorite part of the entire fucking thing. Yeah. That's it. That's my favorite part of the whole thing.
The best.
The best part. If you guys don't want to sit through the episode of like the crazy eye people, just
watch the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, watch like the last like 3 to 10 minutes, and you'll be satisfied with the whole episode.
Alright, so the next one is Blended's game. And this was the one where Seuss talked about his father.
Okay, I gotta talk about this. Okay. So, the fact that we get to learn about Seuss more was something I was happy about, because we don't really hear much about Seuss. We hear a little bit about Wendy.
Jesus Hasmando Ramirez.
I'm just gonna say Seuss. That's a lot to say. Anyway, that's his whole name.
Wait, I want you to say it.
I'm not
just try to say it.
I don't want to be rude.
You're not being rude.
I don't even know what you even said.
Jesus
Jesus Hesmando
Jimenez. Yes.
That's his full name, okay?
Yes.
That's all you guys are getting out of me today. Anyway, because I was wondering why he didn't like birthdays, and I kept thinking at first, okay, maybe he just had a bad time with birthdays. Maybe something with his dad had to do with it. And then we find out it's just his dad never fucking saw him, and it pisses me off. That kind of shit fucking pisses me off.
Yeah.
Where you don't have time for your own fucking child. That just pisses me off, and I'm not going to go into that rant, but that's something that really bothers me about characters and people in general.
And at the end, I'm glad that I think I would just make a top 10 Gravity Falls episodes right now. But, like, the thing about it is I don't know which one I would pick over the other ones. So
that's something you're doing, not a me thing. That's a you thing.
But definitely this one as well.
This one was actually a really good
because
episode.
I like that it just says in the end, like, you know, Seuss just says, like, you know, fuck my dad. He wasn't there for me, but you guys are. Like,
yeah, that I was really happy about. And the fact that, like, these two kids sacrificed fucking time and space to try and get this guy to see his dad again was so fucking wholesome and amazing.
So wholesome and sweet.
We loved this. I was literally like, I'm almost crying in my fucking chair.
Aww,
because it was so sweet.
Aww.
I really liked that episode. That's probably like one of my favorite episodes of the entire second season.
Yeah, that was
because
amazing.
You get to see some wholesome fucking shit, and I love that shit.
You love wholesome stuff. And so do I.
Yeah. The time guy was kind of weird, though. But
time guy's always weird, though.
Okay, what's the next one?
Next one is Love God. I don't think we have much to say about that.
Oh, no. Okay, that one was kind of iffy for me.
I don't think there's much to say about that. For me, that's like one of the weaker episodes of season 2.
Okay, here's another thing. This one things I was kind of upset about when it came to Gravity Falls. Like, Alex Hirsch really wanted to put some LGBTQ stuff in this series, but the fact that Disney wouldn't let him just pisses me off because it's like, dude, you let Sky versus the Force of Evil do it, but you can't let Gravity Falls fucking do it?
I'm just like, I guess the other thing to mention about that is that they were going to put a line saying in there that stand with an atheist, but they didn't want to put that in there.
That too. There was a lot of shit that Alex Hirsch had to cut out for the Disney Channel just to get this show on the air.
I really think this would have been like something on like, you know, Fox or something like that. I don't think like even if it was like a quote unquote kids show, I don't think they would have like changed anything like about that. I think that Alex Hirsch would have just put those elements in there.
I feel like he would have, but I wish that he could have went through with it because there was a lot of scenes that were supposed to be like LGBTQ themed, but they couldn't put it in, which disappointed me.
To be honest, if this show was more on Cartoon Network than probably Disney Channel, it probably would have been less more.
Like I think the way that they made the network is like they should have done that. I feel like that's something they should have done. Even though I actually did find this out, honey. Mm-hmm. The new DuckTales, they actually do have some LGBTQ representation in it, and that's like,
oh, I'm sure they do.
Launchpad's fucking bi, bitch. He said he's had partners before, but they don't specify boy or girl. So that means he is bi.
How do you know he's bi?
I found a video on it.
Partners.
I found a video on it.
It just says he has partners.
Well, they didn't specify boy or girl.
Exactly. They don't specify. You can't really count that.
Didn't they say Wendy was bi?
I don't count it.
How does that not count?
Because if Alex Hirsch says it in a tweet, then that doesn't really... If it's not said specifically in the show, I wouldn't really count it.
Come on.
I don't. Look, if Wendy's bi, then that's Alex Hirsch's doing. But that's not what he put in the show.
Anyway. Okay, besides that. That's something that's one of my only complaints with Gravity Falls. Like, because I found out they were supposed to do it and they couldn't do it because Disney didn't want to do that. Mm-hmm. But it's like, I feel like that's something they should have done. Cause I
told you about this stuff.
I know
about extensive knowledge of this show.
I know, but I feel like that's something they should have done. At least, not like episodes based on it, but at least like little scenes here and there to show something about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would have liked that, because that could have been the first show on the Disney show that could have done that. They could have been revolutionary for being the first Disney show channel to do that. Yeah, that could have been like the first.
Yeah, but if you wanted to really like go on, you would have you wouldn't have just alluded. You would have made I think now we're getting a lot more leeway with the Disney Channel because Disney executives were very strict back then in what they could show and not show. So now
we're finally getting the good shit.
Like hindsight is 2020 now. We're finally getting like, you know, actual representation that's just not gay baiting.
Yeah, I know.
Or something like that. And like, you know, not just killing off gay characters so you could say, oh, they were just in the show once.
Yeah, that's something that bothers me.
Or just mentioned one time and then never mentioned again. Just like, you know, there's a difference between having a gay character or having an LGBT character versus actually exploring that theme and like, you know, seeing relationships blossom and grow. Yeah. There is a difference. And that's why I put a very strong lenient on, was it said or was it shown? Yeah. So, anyway, that's just me. Love God. I don't mind the idea of the two characters that end up together in this. I don't care for them.
I don't care for them, but I don't mind it.
I don't care for them.
So that's kind of all that was. Yeah. And that's literally just like a filler episode. Yes. Can we like skip through like most of the filler, please?
I'm trying to skip. Oh, this one. Next one.
What's this one?
Northwest Mansion Mystery.
Oh, fuck.
I love the lighting. This is probably my favorite design-wise. Like, my favorite designed episode. Yeah. I really love it.
It's just like...
so beautiful.
There's kind of a thing between, like, Dipper and Pacifica.
Like, did that remind you of, like... I know, like, I've never been here, but did that remind you of the Great Wolf Lodge?
A little bit. A little tiny bit.
A little tiny
Not quite. Kinda. Anyway.
But I just love the design. It looks like somewhere where you would go and like visit and stay, like a vacation house, but it's like a creepy mansion and it's like made out of wood. And it's just so like I don't know, like something about the design like Honey, really
you wanna know something
talks
else?
To me.
You wanna know something else? Pacifica's parents are fucking Karens. They're fucking Karens.
Oh no, it is confirmed that Pacifica's parents are extremely abusive.
It's actually confirmed?
No, you see it in the episode.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, it pisses me off. Like, Pacifica's parents, I fucking hate. Like, I fucking hate those two. Like, this child deserves so much more than what she does. Even though, like, I have, like, no sympathy for her, but I feel like she should have...
You can see, like, where
I could see where she gets it from.
Yeah, you can see where she got that. And at least in the end of the episode, she makes an attempt to change.
Yeah, she does. I just wish she could have changed a little bit more throughout the series.
Yeah, I wish it was more, like, related Pacifica episodes where she was trying to make that change and stuff like that.
Like, we do at least see some kind of change, but at the same time... I feel like they should have done it more than what they did.
Put that in the top 10 episodes because, like... Again, not only does it just appeal to me, it's just like, it's just one of those things to where I think, like, you know, the character interactions and the lessons that they teach are just so much, like, more powerful than just the run-of-the-mill, like, comedy episodes. Like, there's been comedy episodes where they implemented great messages and stuff like that, but it's just one of those things to where I just, God, everything just about that worked, and, like, everything that was supposed to be creepy was creepy, like... The atmosphere of this place when like the ghost was legit like terrifying and scary and stuff like that.
It was.
And it was like, damn, you can actually have scary moments in this show. I never thought that would be possible. And like I just that episode's just so fucking good.
It was.
And I love that episode so much.
Okay, so how many more episodes until we get to Grunkle Stan's brother? Because that's what I want to talk about.
Oh, that's the next one.
Really?
Not what he seems. Where he's opening the portal and Armageddon.
Okay, so now we're getting to the good parts of the season. I think we should talk about like the couple episodes that aren't the fillers.
Okay,
let's talk about the main shit.
Oh, you know what? I have an interesting question.
Sure.
That involves like both this episode and the next episode, the Tale of Two Stands.
Yes.
Which one do you think is better?
I think the one where we actually get to see the backstory of the characters.
Okay.
Okay, so first thing, basically the gist of this episode, we're just going to skim through like this main one and then we'll mainly talk about the next one.
I think they're both great in different regards.
Yes, they're both great in different regards. This one, it's basically Stan decides to build a portal. We don't know why. The government's trying to get a hold of this information and it's basically the kids find out that Stan's hiding something. We don't know what it is. And at that time, it's like, well, what the heck are you hiding, Stan? Like, why are you fucking hiding shit? Is what I want to know. So basically, this episode is about, we get to find out that dun dun dun, Stan has a brother. Stan's got a brother. He's got a fucking brother. He's got a fucking brother.
Oh my god.
Yes, and they're also twinsies.
Yeah, twins runs in their family.
Twins.
Twins runs in their family.
Twins run in the fucking family, and that's like that's actually really interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because that's something I never thought would be introduced.
Well, they had they have another uncle who's like also a twin, but we never see him. So
yeah,
I wonder if if he also looks like
them,
like Stan and Ford.
Probably
does.
Anyway, so yeah, by the end of the episode, the kids are wondering what Stan's hiding from them, and that's kind of where that iconic scene that I've seen so many redraws of Mabel like lifting her hands up with her hair in the air and she's trying to go into the portal.
That is a fantastic shot.
That's a fantastic shot and a fantastic episode. But then at the end we find out, dun dun dun.
Wait, I want to talk about like not winning scenes for a little bit because I think that was the
episode.
Yeah, I think that was the perfect episode of suspense.
Yes.
All of that suspension was
perfect
from that portal.
Yes.
Everything was like, what's going to happen when that portal opens? Is everything going to collapse? Is the whole world going to be destroyed because Stan is stubborn? Is that why? And like, will the kids like trust him? The whole point of that episode is like, are the kids going to trust Stan even after everything they've learned about him? And the fact that it builds that tension until the confrontation and the last couple minutes where they're like, we're gonna shut down this portal, and then Mabel has a change of heart and she says, I trust you, Stan. And I think that's just one of those like moments that like changes the direction of the characters
and the entire show.
Yeah,
right there, this fucking moment at the end of the episode changes the entire show.
And like it sets,
and also just Grunkle Stan's done a lot of shady ass shit.
Yeah, but it's like he like protects these kids. It's like he does a lot of like, you know, he does a lot of shady shit, and he does like, you know, he's probably done illegal shit as well.
But he's doing it to protect the kids.
He cares about these kids. That's all he cares about. And I love characters like that. It's
Me
like
too.
Characters that like have a hard exterior, but they have this one person or they have this one thing that they truly care about.
And that's what I like about Stan. That's the one thing I like about Stan.
The one thing you like.
The one thing.
I like Stan for multiple reasons. I like him because he's a funny, like, gives no two shits about literally anybody except for those kids.
Gives no two shits about anything. Gives no two shits
You're cute.
about anything.
But he's like, you know, I like characters like that. They're funny, they're witty, they're like hard exterior, but they do care about something.
Yes.
And it's like, I love those types of characters. I think they can add so much depth. And
also, he got big nose.
Yes, he got a big nose. But I just... Yeah, and it sets up, like, you know, Dipper and Mabel's, like, dynamic from then on. Because, like, yeah, you know, Dipper graduates towards Ford more and Mabel graduates towards Stan more. Because that's how they are as people.
Yeah.
Like,
so basically, at the end of this episode, we find out that Stan's got a brother.
You already said
Stan's got a brother.
You already said that.
I know, but I like saying it. It's funny.
I know.
But yeah.
So what do you think of the backstory of the whole thing?
Okay, so that's the next episode of the backstory. I actually like the backstory. I think it actually builds up a lot of the stuff we didn't know about Stan. I feel like it makes everything into one clean little package where you at least get to find out about Stan and his brother. Mm-hmm. Because when they meet again, they're basically grumpy little farts.
Yes.
They're grumpy fucking farts.
Yes, and one of them voiced by J.K. Simmons.
What?
Yes.
Damn.
He does. I told you he does a lot of voice work.
That's crazy. Anyway, so that next episode...
I should really, like, show... I know this is unrelated, but I should really show you Whiplash, because it's seriously gonna, like, actually give you Whiplash, to where, like, wait, this is Grunkle Ford? This is what he is. This is the person who voices him, and you're gonna be like, damn, he...
Yeah. Anyway, so here's another we find out about this episode. Grunkle Stan is actually named Stanley. And Stanford is the fucking brother that Stanley fucking impersonates.
Yes.
So basically he's impersonating his brother for years. And his brother was doing a lot of work because Here's the gist of it. We're gonna just do the gist of the backstory.
I'm sorry, I had to bring up the like, it's like one of those like dark truth of Stan Pines. I'm sorry that this is like one of those things that I see in Dark Truths of Stan Pines. But like, I just thought of something.
What?
What if Stan's like mother and father actually went to go visit him thinking that it was Ford out in like Gravity Falls and stuff like that, and Stan had to pretty much tell them like, no, I'm not, like, you know, pretty much keep up the facade that I am Ford. You're talking to your son Ford and not Stan. That is so fucked up to think of.
Why are you thinking about this?
Because that's where my mind goes, and you know what, I bet the show wouldn't, like, you know, like, try to like hide something like that. Like, yeah, this is what Stan does. He lies to protect his family.
Anyway, okay, so here's the other thing. So basically, we'll give the gist of the backstory because it's something you guys should see for yourself, and I feel like it's more impactful once you see it for yourself. But here's the gist of it. Basically, Stanley and Stanford are twins. Stanford has an extra finger, which I thought was interesting. He's got 6 fingers on each hand. Is it 6 fingers on each hand?
Yep.
Or just on one? How the fuck does that even work?
An anomaly.
So yeah, Stanford actually has 6 fingers. The brother doesn't. Like Stanley doesn't. So they grow up together. They want to stick together for the rest of their lives. They eventually want to go on adventures like pirates. But then Stanford grows up and wants to go to college.
Wait. Say pirates are in the keeper.
Pirates. Arr!
That's so cute.
Anyway, so basically, Stanford wants to go to college because he realizes he's got more potential than what Stanley has. Stanley's not the best kid.
Yeah, I like that you're spoiling the whole plot. And
I'm just trying to...
I'm just kidding.
I'm just trying to, like, sum it up. Basically, those two get into a fight about shit. Stanley ends up getting kicked out while Stanford goes to community college and then ends up going to Gravity Falls. Stanley's just trying to avoid the fucking law. He's basically like a criminal at that point.
Yes.
He's like a fucking runaway criminal.
Yes.
So he ends up... So Stanford basically goes to Gravity Falls to start a new life. He finds out about all the stuff from there. He starts making the journals. Yada, yada, yada. He meets McGucket. Those two make a portal. McGucket ends up going crazy from this fucking portal. And then...
Who is it? Have you come to steal my eyes? That's one of the lines I like.
Oh, Lord. So after that, McGucket runs away. Stanford finishes his portal. Stanley ends up going to Gravity Falls to find the brother because he was worried about him. Those two get into a fight. Stanley ends up pushing him into the portal. We thought he dies, but he technically doesn't.
He doesn't. He goes in dimension hopping. That's what he says.
Yeah, he basically goes dimension hopping, which I would have been interested to see what he does.
You can't see. And that book right there.
I know.
Just shush.
Anyway, so that's basically the gist of the backstory. Is just him, those two basically fighting and all that other bullshit. So we find out about that. We found the cops are still trying to get a hold of them. Stanford basically, he tries to trick the cop. He tricks the cops into going back so they don't get caught. And that's basically the whole episode.
Yeah.
So let's talk about a couple things and then get to the last 3 or 4 episodes.
No, we still have like half more to go.
Oh, come on! Well, you get to talk about it now. I've been talking for the last, while. You get to talk about it now.
I like the backstory. I go back and forth on which episode I like better. Do I like the suspense or do I like the payoff more? I think they're both, really good.
Yeah.
I think they're both really, really great episodes. And they just, to be honest, I'm more obsessed with, I like the fact that they explained why the fact that Stan has been running away for so long and who his brother Ford turned out to be and why he's kind of envy of him, why he misses him, why he does everything to bring his brother back. I like that part of the story and how it was just how it was all explained and just and not overbearing. It didn't seem overbearing for the how long the episode was. It seemed perfectly paced and everything that. So I just I really like those episodes. I just it's just amazing what they did in like 40 minutes or so of like just 2 episodes of what they could do. And I think it like amazes me more every time I watch it, because the suspense of the first one and then you get the payoff, which is just so satisfying. I think it's just rare for a show, like not just like a cartoon show, but just rare for an actual TV show of that time.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be shocked if these like were these 2, like I think these were nominated for like Emmys or something.
That's crazy.
I think a couple Gravity Falls episodes were nominated for Emmys, but like
that's amazing.
I think Not One of These Things was nominated. I don't know if it won, but I think it was nominated for an Emmy.
You're gonna have to look those up because I don't know.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be shocked if they weren't, because they're just that good. They're just that good of an episodes. It's like they're the god tier episodes of Gravity Falls in my opinion. But like they're not my favorite episodes. I just think that they're the best episodes in terms of how they are. I think that's all I had to really say about them. They're like, because I really think that this is an experience. Those 2 episodes are an experience more than they are actually like, just episodes that you watch because they're your favorite. I think that's just episodes that are great because they're great.
Yeah. Okay, so
what is
how many episodes are left? Like, let's skip the
next
fillers.
one is Dungeons, and More Dungeons.
Okay, how many of these are actually fillers?
I think so we got Dungeons, and More Dungeons. We got the stand candidate. I can't say that word. They got the Last Maple Corn, and we got the Roadside Trip, and then we got the last 4 episodes, which all connect to the plot.
Okay, so how about let's just skim through
Dungeons, and More Dungeons.
Let's skim through it.
I like the satire of even though I've never played it.
I've actually played Dungeons and Dragons before, so it's semi-accurate to what you technically do in it.
Well, of course they can't like actually go into the whole full lore of Dungeons and Dragons, a 22-minute episode.
Yeah, so that's basically about
I think they just wanted to make fun of it.
Yeah.
But it's also paying homage to it, I think.
Yeah. Basically, that episode's about a Dungeons and Dragons, like, parody kind of shit.
I like that for, like, bonds with Dipper.
Yes,
That's
I actually
cute.
like it, too. Honestly, that's another thing I like about this season, too. Just the idea of Dipper actually having someone to bond with, while Mabel's kind of more like Uncle Stan's kind of favorite kid.
Yeah.
So I kind of like the idea of those two, like, hanging out and stuff like that. It makes it, like, a lot more, like, interesting.
Yeah, I like that, too.
Okay, so...
And next one is the standing candidate. I just think it's funny.
Okay, basically, Stan's trying to run for mayor. It gets interesting, and...
Gideon's in it.
Gideon's fucking in it!
Which means you don't like it.
I don't like it. Him and his family are weird.
I know, they are weird. You remember that episode where, like, that Stan, it was back in season 1 where Stan actually visited their house, and I think it was in the Hand Rocks and Mabel episode, and, like, they were, like, and Gideon's dad was like, we've been enemies for far too long, and then he gets rid of the Stan picture with the darts on it, and he's like, let me get rid of that. We've been enemies for far too long. Like, I don't know why. That's one of my favorite side gags in the whole show.
Yeah.
And it's like...
So yeah, basically this is just Stan running for president of, like, for mayor.
Mayor, not
for
president.
mayor.
Yes.
He ends up technically winning, but then technically losing.
I honestly think that the satire of that saves that episode, because I think Alex Hirsch, like... Alex Hirsch is, like, actually, like, very intrigued in politics and stuff like that, so...
It was an interesting episode.
Yes, it was a very interesting episode from Stan's perspective.
Yes. And the fact that they had, like, a tie that controlled Stan for, like, the whole thing. But that's technically a filler.
I used it for Ron Reagan's Masters.
Okay, stop it.
That's a lie.
Oh, Lord.
That was funny.
Okay, next one is which one?
Next one is the last Maple Corn with the unicorn.
Okay, so this is the last episode before we get into...
No, we have another episode before we get to...
Okay, the second to last episode before we get to, like, the
I want to know what
finale.
you thought of the unicorn.
I hated the unicorn. The unicorn was a fucking bitch.
I am Celeste Belle of Bethel.
The fucking unicorn's a bitch.
Wait, can you say that word? Can you say that name?
Celeste Belle de Baby.
No. Celeste Belle
Celeste Belle
of Bethel.
of Bethabel.
Now say the full name.
Celeste Belle of
Fiffabelle.
Celeste Bell and Fiffabelle.
So yeah, I hate the fucking unicorn. The fact that they're making Mabel seem like a bad person is bullshit. She's
Well, that was the whole point. That was like, that was
she's
bullshit.
a pure ass kid.
That was bull. Like, you know, that whole point of the episode was to make the unicorn, like, you know, be a bullshit.
Yeah. Also, like the fact that Wendy and her friends basically beat up a unicorn was amazing.
Yes.
And that's the only.
Honestly, I was more interested in Mabel's story actually than the Dipper.
Honestly, yeah, like the Dipper section was interesting. Okay, it's basically divided into two sections. We got Mabel's section where her and the girls are fighting fucking unicorns, and then you got Dipper trying to figure out Bill Cipher's like weakness. He finds out that Stan and Bill Cipher were friends apparently before all this shit started.
Yes.
All that bullshit.
Yes.
Stanford has a fucking plate in his head. Did they ever explain how he got that?
So he can block out Bill entering his mind.
Yeah, so that basically happened. So that's basically the Dipper story. The Dipper story was interesting, but I still think the Mabel one was kind of a bit better.
Yeah, it was.
The Mabel one was more filler for the episode, but I still liked it better.
The only thing that really shocked me is when Dipper actually pulled the trigger.
Yes.
Like, this shit stand in the head, and because of the metal plate, luckily he didn't, like, it didn't absorb into him.
Yep, so that was something I thought was interesting. The Dipper plot, I think, was more interesting to the actual plot, while the Mabel story was just more filler. What are you doing with plushing me?
I don't know. I'm being a butt to it.
You trying to pretend I'm talking?
Yes.
Cute. Anyway, so that's basically what happened for that episode. That's basically the sum of the episode. They get fucking unicorn hair. Whee! That's literally the whole fucking episode.
Yes.
What's the second to last one before the
roadside attraction?
Okay, so this is the last episode because at the end of the series you have a 4-part finale kind of thing. It's technically 2 episodes and then it's technically 2 episodes and then an hour long episode.
No, it's the same amount of episode. But let's talk about roadside attraction.
Roadside attractions, basically all the kids go in. So basically Dipper, Mabel's friends, and Grunkle Stan leave Ford at home and go on a little trip.
Yes.
To get revenge on pretty much every fucking person on the side of the coast.
Yes.
It's the only part of the series where we actually are not in Gravity Falls. We're basically somewhere else.
Yes. I think it was interesting to, like, stray away from Gravity Falls.
Yeah.
I think it was interesting.
It was.
Like, and seeing all the different roadside attractions and stuff like that is, like, so true to, like, how...
Yes.
Like, it is actually up there.
Am I allowed to say that Dipper became a pimp for, like, a short amount of time?
Oh, my God! You really want to say that Dipper picked up chicks?
Well, he kind of did.
Yeah,
in
because
a sense.
Uncle Stan gave him some horrible advice.
Yeah.
And, like, it worked.
Technically... In a way, not like entirely, but technically that was the thing. Dipper basically got a bunch of phone numbers from a bunch of girls. He also ended up going on a date with Candy, who...
I think that's an allegory for, like, you know, how, like, you know, sometimes, like, bands would go around and, like, they'll just hook up with, like, whoever they want to, and then they'll forget about them and stuff like that.
Is that actually a reference to that? Because if it is, I'm like, why?
I think that...
Why would Dipper, though?
I don't know. I think that's with just anybody who goes on the road, though.
So, yeah, that happened. Okay, I'll probably not say that then. But basically, Dipper gets a lot of girls' phone numbers, and then they all meet up with each other at the end. Candy ends up going on a date with Dipper because she suddenly gets a crush on him.
Because of his confidence.
Because of his
fake-ass confidence. Dipper, I can finally say Dipper has some fake-ass confidence.
Yes, he does. So that's basically what happens in that episode. Stan basically gets attacked by spider people.
Yes.
I don't know what the fuck Mabel does for the whole thing.
I don't know. Mabel's just encourages Candy to go on a date with her
brother. And I actually did kind of ship it for a little bit, but then after that episode, I'm like...
But then I realized that the same voice actress voices what's the unicorn's name from
Lady Rainicorn.
Lady Rainicorn.
That surprises the fuck out of me.
It's the same voice. I don't know why you...
I never noticed that. I legit never noticed that until you brought it up to me, and I'm like, why?
Yes.
Why did you do that?
Yes.
Anyway, that was basically the whole episode.
Now we talk about Mabel and Dipper versus the future.
Okay, so you get to explain this shit, because I'm getting tired of talking about this.
You're getting tired of talking about Gravity Falls?
No, I'm not getting tired of talking about it. I'm mainly getting tired of talking for the segment. Can you, like, do this part?
Okay.
But come sit down. We're not going to hear you if you're over there.
I am over here in the corner. You can hear me while I'm over here.
Get away from the corner. Come on. Okay. Now, the last episodes are basically, like, the best of the whole fucking series.
Yes.
Basically, they're called Weirdmageddon.
Yes.
You get to talk about it, honey. Take it away.
Okay. This one, God. Honestly, like, out of, like, the whole suspense episodes, because you would put this under the suspense episodes.
Yes.
And, like, you know, it's the one that gets started on the finale. And it's, like, I would consider it the second last episode, like, from the finale, because I considered 3 episodes of the finale to be the big one, like the huge big one that just connects them all together. They even advertised it as a movie. I
still can't believe they advertised this movie.
Yeah.
They were supposed to make a Gravity Falls movie, but then they fucking didn't.
No, they just split it into 3 parts.
That's what they did. Basically, the ending of the series was supposed to be a movie, like Ed, Edd n Eddy did. Like Ed, Edd n Eddy did like a like as an example, Ed, Edd n Eddy did a movie as the end of the series, as like the series finale.
That I have yet to see.
You have not seen, honey. How many shows have you not seen?
A lot of shows I haven't seen because, like,
oh shit! I gotta get you back into. I gotta tell you about Ed, Edd n Eddy. That's gonna be interesting.
Okay,
because that was my favorite thing as a kid. Anyway, on to Weirdmageddon. Take it away, honey.
Okay, well, I'm not talking about Weirdmageddon. I'm talking about Dipper, Mabel versus the Future. Now, I think it's really interesting that what they set up from A Tale of Two Stands and, like, having that set up and, like, having Dipper, like, saying, like, hey, maybe I'll be better off here in Gravity Falls, and Mabel gets upset over it. It's, like, I think, like, it builds up that story throughout the whole episode. And it's just interesting. It's interesting to see it play out. It's interesting to see siblings kind of be torn apart because of this major big situation. And, like, they gravitate towards different things. Like, all Mabel wanted to do was have a birthday party. And, like, Dipper, like, went off to, like, save the world. Like, that pretty much is their whole characters right there. It's like, Mabel just wants to do something fun. And she wants to do something with her family. Dipper wants to go and do things that are, like, Dipper wants to go out and actually, like, you know, improve on things. He wants to actually go out and, like, do major big things that will change, like, the universe and everything like that.
Yeah.
He's an explorer. He's, like, you know, he just, like, he says he's a scientist. He's, like, he follows in Great Uncle Ford's footsteps. And I just think that's just, I just think that's so clever to just do that. I think, like, what they actually fight over is legit. I don't think that it's some bullshit because, like, you know, the fandom say, oh, like, you know, Mabel is a selfish person because, like, you know, she started the whole apocalypse because pretty much she wanted Dipper to be with her the rest of her life. It's like, no. Mabel is a very, like, you know, she is a child, first of all, and she is a very like, you know, sensitive person who, like, loves the people that are close to her. And, like, you know, I think, like, if Dipper didn't have, like, Mabel to balance off of him, he wouldn't have that silliness and, like, fun in his life. And I believe if Mabel didn't, like, you know, have the Dipper in her life, then, like, she would be, like, you know, she would go all crazy with her imagination and wouldn't know how to control it. So I just think, like, you know, they both need each other. I'm not saying that they will, like, when they even say, oh my god, I just find more loopholes to, like, the fandom's bullshit because the fandom just, like, sees the characters one way and they don't see, like, the dimensions of them. So I'm just like, I'll get that into the Maple, like, you know, episode of the finale, but
okay, like,
I don't think that she just gave away the world for nothing. First off, she didn't realize she was giving the world away. and like, second of all, she's a child. She's a fucking child. Like, do you not agree with me on this?
I agree with you. She's a kid.
She's a kid. She didn't, like, she just, like, yeah, and kids are selfish and they make selfish decisions and everything like that. I'm just saying, like, why? Like, why do you think this fandom of Gravity Falls? Why do you think that way? I don't understand.
Me neither.
So what do you have to say about the episode?
Basically, for me, I thought the episode was interesting. I felt bad for both characters because Dipper just wants to try and do his own thing while trying to still be with his sister. But at the same time, she just doesn't want to let go of, like, the whole past and stuff like that. She kind of just wants stuff to stay where it is, which is, it's, like, not a bad thing. Like, this is the thing that bothers me about, like, what the fandom was saying about this. I don't feel like Mabel was selfish about it. I feel like she just wanted to make stuff be the same. She just loves her brother. She cares about her sibling.
Well, the thing about it is when this discourse was going on, the episodes were airing at the same time. So I got to see this all, like, in live format. And it was just, like, it was, like, a confusing time for me. Because back then, I did not have, like, the appropriate reaction to cartoons. Normally, I just do whatever, like, you know, it's great because whatever, this person told me so. Now I'm just like, you know, there's a lot more interesting things when you just look at it from your perspective. And, like, looking at it from my perspective, I just think the whole thing is wrong. But, you know, this is the part where Bill Cipher gets his way and he rules the world now.
Yep.
And it's like that last shot where it's just Dipper and Mabel's like poster for their 13th party while screens of torture and anguish and death go on in the background is like the coolest thing. Not the coolest thing, but it's like a very ominous thing. And you had to wait for a couple months until the next episode aired.
Yep.
I'm like, that tension is fantastic. If there's one thing Gravity Falls is masterful at, it's tension.
Yep.
It's like tension. It's great.
To me, it was kind of crazy that this was a thing, but I didn't mind it.
Yeah, especially in like a kids show back in 2016.
Yep.
So let's talk about the what's it called?
Weirdmageddon.
Weirdmageddon Part 1. We're just gonna call it Weirdmageddon Part 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. So you talk about it, and then I'll give my sums up of it. Or do you want to both talk about it?
I want this to be a discussion.
Okay, so what do you want to talk about then?
Well, we're going to talk about Part 1.
Okay, so Part 1 basically takes off at the end of the last episode. Basically, here's how they decide to do Weirdmageddon. They have Dipper's story section first, then they have Mabel's section second, and then they have the both of them together to stop Bill. So,
yeah, all of the casting to stop Bill.
All the casting to stop Bill. So basically, Part 1 of Weirdmageddon is Dipper's side. Dipper's basically trying to... Him and Stanford are trying to stop Bill. Stanford ends up getting, like, turned to gold stone, apparently. A gold statue, some kind of shit.
Yes.
So he ends up getting that.
He ends up getting commissioned.
He ends up getting commissioned?
Yeah, that's what people say when they're out of commission.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what happens with that. And Dipper's just trying to find somebody, because he doesn't know where Mabel went. He doesn't know where Grunkle Stan went. He does find Wendy, though, and him and Wendy team up.
Yes.
Which I think was amazing.
Yeah, that was great.
The two team up to try and find Mabel. Then we find out Mabel's in this big-ass balloon with a star on it.
Bubble.
A bubble. And all that crap.
Yes.
So basically, they go toward it, and they find Mabel in there, but that's...
Gideon changes his heart.
And
What'd you think of that?
That still pissed me off. I was still mad at Gideon. But I think he was just...
I think Gideon just...
I legit think he was just doing that for clout. He was just...
For clout? What clout? What clout?
He was doing it for clout.
What clout? What are you talking about? There's no internet in Bill Cipher's dimension.
Honey, I want you to know something. He was doing it for clout. He was doing it for fucking clout. People in the back. He was doing it for clout. Bitch.
He kidnapped Mabel for clout.
Yes. He kidnapped Mabel for clout.
That's the funniest shit.
Anyway. Your turn to talk about Mabel's half. And then we'll both talk about the final part.
Well, I liked Dipper and Wendy's like little story thing or whatever.
Yeah, and the
like,
animation for that section was good.
I know, continuing to be them for friends and stuff like that. You know, actually, I already told you about that. Never mind. Yeah, I just, I liked it. It was, I think, like, in terms, like, it's probably the weakest out of the three, though.
Yeah, but the only thing about it I liked, besides them actually having interactions that wasn't Dipper trying to get Wendy, was the fact that you get to see different kinds of animation for, like, the bubbles. That was, like, my favorite part of the whole fucking
Bubbles. What happens when they went to live action?
Yes, there's a live action part. There was, like, they were anime, they were ducks, they were meat. It was some weird shit. But it was nice. Anyway, after that, and then goes the Mabel episode.
Yes.
So you get to talk about the Mabel part, and then we'll both talk
It was crazy. It was everything that I wanted to be a Mabel episode to be.
Oh my god.
And
explain what it is so people understand it, or at least the gist of it.
Mabel's imagination comes to life, and everything's just sunshine and rainbows and glitter. So much
rainbows, everything.
Glitter. If they would have gotten the copyright to that song, I think they would have played that.
Yeah, I feel like they would have.
Like, but honestly, like, just exploring what Bill has created. Yeah, what Bill created pretty much the infestation of Mabel's imagination just brought to life. Like, I think, again, very clever, Alex boy. You're very clever.
Boy.
You get a cookie.
Boy, did you say you get a cookie?
Yes, you get a cookie for being a good boy, Alex. But, like, that it ends like pretty much that argument that the fandom was having, like, oh, like, now Dipper doesn't get what he wants because Mabel's being selfish. It's like
Mabel's not
Dipper literally says like I'm not taking Ford's apprenticeship because I would be miserable. He said in the end I would have been miserable himself. He said that like life would not be as crazy without you in it. And, like, you keep me sane. That's what I got from it.
Yeah.
Like, you keep me sane, and you keep me, like, have, like, you give me good times, and you help me through stuff. It's like, let's defeat Bill and grow up together.
Yeah.
And it's not, like, implied that they were gonna, like, grow up literally together. Like, they're never gonna leave each other's side from then on. It's like, hey, we're both gonna have different interests and stuff like that, but we're gonna face them together as brother and sister. And that's why I fucking love that relationship so much. It's like, you don't get that in much media. Like, positive brother or sister or positive sibling relationship in general.
Yeah.
Like,
this is the one series I've seen that has this. And I love it. Because I feel like a lot of people don't get that.
Yeah, I know. And even at the end, like, Mabel's like, I wouldn't mind if you just took Ford's apprenticeship, and Dipper's like, missing out on our teen years, and like that's just like it's just like they really do care about each other, and I'm just that's just so happy to see. I just love
pure
that
shit.
Yeah, pure wholesome
shit,
family shit, and I love that. Me love too. That.
That's basically what the second to last episode. Then third
now
episode.
Let's talk about the
long episode. Oh my gosh, this was an hour. This was a fucking hour.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it was a fucking hour. And I was like, damn, why is this an hour?
And now you knew why it was an hour.
Yeah, and I was like, gosh, why'd you make me sit here for an hour?
What? You didn't like it?
I did like it. It's just, it was too long.
How was it too long?
Okay,
I think it was like...
It was decent. Like, the episode itself was not that bad, but the fact that, like, when at the end I was like, wait, it was an hour? I was like, fuck.
Yeah, but did you notice an hour? I think that the best thing that you can do, like, if you don't notice how much time has passed, that's when you made a really good, like, time waste of your life.
Yeah, that's true. So, basically, this last episode is basically everybody trying to stop Bill.
Yes.
So... we get Mabel and Dipper find Stan and some of the other misfits. They find them in the Mystery Shack because the Mystery Shack got saved by the magical unicorn hair.
Yes.
It basically saved them, so they end up teaming up and going to stop Bill. They turn... okay, McGucket and the others basically turned the Mystery Shack into a fucking transformer, bitch.
Yes.
It was literally a fucking transformer.
I want that as like a. I want that like in the actual like shack.
That would be a nice
mind
toy.
Actually, that would be a great toy.
That would be a great toy. Why did they never do that?
I don't know.
They only made a couple like
wasted potential.
Shit. They only made a couple Gravity Falls like merchandise.
Wasted potential.
Let me finish. The only merchandise I've seen for Gravity Falls, because fun fact, I was trying to get Gravity Falls stuff for my Bean's birthday because I know how much they love the series. And the only stuff I could find besides little dome figurines was the Funko Pops. That's what I ended up getting them. They had the Funko Pops. They had a couple books.
Yeah.
And
which I mostly have anyway.
Which JC mostly had. And they didn't have the Funko Pops, so I got them the Funko Pops. They also had dome figures, but I don't know if they would be interested in that. So I ended up getting them the Funko Pops. Minus Stan, because I didn't know if they wanted Stan or not. So I got Dipper, Mabel, and Bill Cipher. I'm eventually going to get them Stan. It's just going to be a little while. But that was what we got. I got JC for their birthday. So they don't really have a lot of merchandise for the series, which sucks. More. Also, they do have figurines, but I could not find them.
Yeah.
But that could have been a good toy. Why did they fucking make that? That would have been a cool playset.
So anyway, they fight Bill.
Yeah. But I want to say this. If they did a playset for that, they should have included, like, one of the characters, like, maybe Bill or, like, Mabel and Dipper.
Maybe.
They could have just done that. Or, like, they could have just made him a Gucket and just stuck him in there and be like, wee.
Maybe.
Anyway.
I like, they fight Bill, and then Bill's Cipher goes after the kids. And pretty much the whole twist of this is that Bill shakes Stan's hand, and Ford erases his mind.
Yeah, originally Ford was going to erase his own mind, but he can't really do it. So Stan agrees to get his mind erased to protect his fucking family.
When he punches Bill the fuck out, I was like, that's a fuck
Can we get to that in a minute? We want to do the suspense. So basically, he shakes his hand. Ford ends up deleting Stan's mind.
Yeah.
And Bill gets trapped in Stan's head, which doesn't really have much in it. Stan's like an empty brain fuck.
Yeah.
He's an empty brain fuck.
But like that moment where he punches Bill
He punches Bill in the fucking eye.
Yeah.
And Bill ends up dying inside of Stan's head. And then because of that, dun dun dun, Stan's memory's gone. Yeah.
I will like admit that punch is like a fuck yeah moment.
Yeah, that was a fuck yeah moment. That was like, fuck, we just got chicken nuggies at McDonald's moment. That was a, oh my gosh, we just went to Burger King moment.
Why are you comparing it to fast food?
This was us getting dessert. That's not
fast food. That is the full dining experience. And then you get the dessert that explodes in your face like, fuck yeah.
That's literally us. I was about to get to that. That's literally us going to Applebee's or Olive Garden and getting the fucking dessert at the end after we have a good ass meal. That's what it feels like.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored, but that's basically what it fucking feels like.
Yes. And then you get like the sad moment where
they realize Stan's memory's gone, even though they said his memory was going to be gone. And they're like, what happened to his memory? They were like before, it's already gone. And then like they said, what happened to his memory?
I was sad though.
I was sad too, but they already mentioned it.
Yeah, but I was sad. Like, in the original reaction, I was actually crying.
Aww.
Like, I love Stan so much, and the fact that he did not remember these two kids. The people he cared about the most, and they were gone from his life. I was like, fuck, that's heartbreaking. But no, he gets his memories back because convenience.
Yeah, they get his memories back after looking through a scrapbook of the entire summer.
Yes.
In it. And then after that, basically, here's the end. Bill gets defeated. Dipper and Maple go back home. They experience their 13th birthday.
Stan and Ford go explore the world in the Stan Award 2.
Yeah.
And
Seuss ends up running the Mystery Shack with his girlfriend.
Yes.
I still can't believe Seuss decided he wanted to run the Mystery Shack. I thought that was funny.
Can we talk about the bus ride? The bus.
Yeah, let's talk about you talk about the bus ride.
Okay, that scene when that's
the last part of the episode.
Scene. That's the last part of the whole series.
And just the like
that made me cry.
Yeah, that made me tear up a little bit.
That like when I first watched it, that made me like really cry. It still makes me it still makes me emotional because so much of the right things are being said in that scene. Like so much of the right things to where this is the last time you're gonna see these characters. We're just sending them in a big horror goodbye moment, and like the moment where they hug, like
all the characters.
No, that moment where they like hug Stan, the
that
two
was
kids,
sad.
and I'm like, when Stan like said, "Kids, you've been nothing but a nuisance, you've been nothing but a nuisance, and I'm glad to get rid of you," while he's like holding back tears, and then the kids end up hugging him, and like.
And then
they like and
Waddles ends up almost staying there, and then Stan's like, "Fuck this shit! You're taking the pig home with you."
Yeah, but that moment where like they're just hugging, and like Mabel
cute.
says, "We'll miss you, Grunkle Stan." I'm just like, that broke me. That broke me.
That
so
broke
much.
us. It broke us.
God, even thinking about it. I'm thinking about it, man.
It broke us.
It's
sad.
yeah,
Sad boy hours.
but it's satisfying, and
satisfying but sad.
it's a satisfying conclusion to a really, really great show.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love that Gravity Falls came into my life. You honestly have no idea how much Gravity Falls influenced.
I know.
So much of my life was
in fact affected by it.
Yeah, it was, because it like taught me like, hey, you can have more elements to a comedy show than just comedy. You can have mystery elements. You can have like, you can have like all this stuff that for some reason creators of shows nowadays don't really input that much into, like, these new generations of cartoons.
Which is sad, because it's like, if you want a kid to remember the fucking show, you got to do something big or go home.
Yeah.
Well,
not really big. You just got to do something important.
Do something good and go home.
Memorable and like not contradictory to the fucking characters.
Like Rebecca Sugar did that. Alex Hirsch did that. I feel like the show we're currently watching is probably going to do that.
I mean, Alex Hirsch didn't really.
He kind of went all out with it.
No. I mean, like, actually do it right.
He did it right at the end.
He's one of the good cartoon creators that I still stand by to this day.
Yeah.
And he's not faltered for that.
And
I think there's other creators that have faltered big time because either their shows went on for too long, or they just talked about things that they weren't able to talk about because of the medium that a kid show is.
Yeah.
I think what Alex Hirsch did was talk about he put in messages in his show, but his main concern was having fun with the show. That's his show. That's his baby. Like, that's
his baby Babu.
Yeah, that's his creation. And I'm glad that he took that to heart instead of just trying to appease, like, the fans. Like, literally every time I hear about, he loves his fans. He adores his fans and everything like that. But he always puts himself, like, his own, his own writings, his own creations. He always puts that first before he puts anything else into it. Yes. And that's why I think, he's a better showrunner than literally most of the people who are running cartoons nowadays.
Yeah.
Because everybody just wants to, just put things in there. They want to put, important messages. They want to put in important, social statements that are going to be used at the time. But the thing is, Gravity Falls never really did something major like that. It never did. It never needed to be great. And I think that's why Gravity Falls still remains to be one of the best cartoon shows of the 2010s, in my opinion.
Yeah,
because it never achieved to do anything great other than just be itself.
Yeah. So basically, that's the end of Gravity Falls. So let's both give our ratings and then send this on the hoorah, because we've literally talked about this. We had to make two separate parts.
I could literally talk about Gravity Falls for a long time.
Yeah,
as long as I live.
Legit, we literally did a small part first and then this long part. So let's just...
Yep.
And it's been 2 hours.
Yep.
We literally spent 2 hours recording this. So, almost 2 hours. So, let's give it a rating.
Let's give it a rating.
For me, I give this an 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was...
You're not that far from my rating. I was going to give it a 9.
Okay. I decided to do 8.5 out of 10. If I was going to just do season 1, if it was just season 1 of the series and no season 2, I probably would have gave it a 6 out of 10. Just because I feel like they could have done more with it.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to include both seasons...
So what would you, say season 2 was?
Season 2 was definitely a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
But the only reason it's an 8.5 is because it did have some flaws with season 1. So that's why I kind of give it a lower rating.
Mm-hmm.
Like a 0.5 lower rating. Just because of the way season 1 was written and stuff like that. That's pretty much why I give it an 8.5. So... that's basically my rating for it.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the characters in the series. This is the thing I liked about it. I did like the character interactions from season 2. Some from season 1, but mainly season 2. Season 2 was probably the better season of the two of them, in my opinion. He should have just written the whole series like he did with season 2.
Yeah.
Is what is my personal opinion. But I do give this show credit for doing the good shit it did. I do give it credit. I do think it's a good show. Is it my favorite show of all time? Not really. But I still think it's one of the better shows I've seen.
Yeah.
Like, out there. It's one of the better shows I've seen. I'm glad I watched it, because now I finally can say I watched Gravity Falls, and my bean's happy with me now.
Yeah.
Because I could finally watch it with them.
This is... Oh, yeah, I did. You were done. Sorry.
But basically, I did like this series. Would I probably watch it again? Probably bits and pieces. Would I watch the whole thing again? Probably not, because it's way too long.
I would watch it again. I would.
I would probably watch the season finale again, though.
This is a show that I will watch in 2040, and I would still be satisfied.
Yeah, I'll still be satisfied with it.
When the 10-year anniversary of Gravity Falls comes along, I'm gonna watch the whole thing again.
They're probably gonna. I feel like they should do something. Something I should talk about before you give your rating. They should do something for the 10th anniversary. Okay, 10 years is a long.
They will, because honestly, Alex Hirsch just like he's pretty much done. He's done with the show.
Well, doesn't he want to at least like do something for it? Like at least do like a celebration picture?
I doubt it.
At least like something. I don't know.
I highly doubt it.
Okay, look, if I personally made a show and it was coming up on like a 10-year anniversary, I would fucking do something. Like, even if it's like limited edition shit. That's what I would personally
Maybe
do.
they'll re-release the DVDs.
They should that's what they should do. They should either re-release the DVDs.
Because I think when the DVDs were like, that full set where they had all like the season 1 and season 2 together. And, like, I think that's the last thing that he did. And it was, like, once the DVDs are released, he was like, once the DVDs are going to be released, like, I'm just going to move on from Gravity Falls.
Okay.
Because, honestly, a decade is really long to just be obsessed with one cartoon.
I understand that, but, like, at the same time, this is a good show, and I do feel like it deserves something for, like, a 10-year, because 10 years.
That's why people are going to relaunch it again, because it's going to be the 10-year anniversary, and
I want to explain this.
It's a decade.
If you're going to see a series, when it gets to a series or something gets to its 10-year anniversary, that's a long fucking time. That's a long time it's been around. Example: Pokemon has been around for 20 fucking years, and they went all out for the 20th.
Pokemon. There's plenty of Pokemon. Pokemon. There's plenty of Pokemon.
I know, but that show's been around for 20 years, and they did a bunch of shit for that. I'm just saying.
I don't think they need to. I don't think they need to do something big. I think what the show does is good enough. I think that, having a show only be 2 seasons and having it being as good as it is, because I legit do not think there's no bad episode of Gravity Falls. Yeah. There's no bad episode. There's no horrific
There's no bad episodes of it, but there's
only decent.
There's some kind of underwhelming ones.
Yeah, there's underwhelming ones, but there's no bad ones. There's never been, like, a horrible episode. It's like, I don't like the way the characters are portrayed here, or, that message is horrible. Why did they do that? Meanwhile, I can actually count, like, episodes of other shows that are, like, that went on for too long, and, like, just like have horrible implications in episodes. Here I can't, because Alex Hirsch is that great of a writer, and he's that great of a person who plans things and wants just to do things for fun. And that's what he did. He did a fun kid show. And I think in like 20 years from now, when we're talking about the greatest TV shows ever made, people are going to overlook Gravity Falls, even though it has such a big fandom, because let's be real and honest here, it came out in 2012, and 2012 was a time where all the big major cartoons that were hitting back in the 2010s. Yeah. Like 2010s, and it was like one of those times where it was revolutionary for cartoons back in the day, but Gravity Falls is more of an exclusive fandom because it has that mystery element to it. Yeah. Because it's not everyone's cup of tea. And I get if it's not everyone's cup of tea, if it's not everybody's favorite genre. But I love the shit out of the show. Yeah. I would honestly, if they wanted to do something with Gravity Falls in the future, fine. But if they never did anything with Gravity Falls ever again, I would be happy with what this did. Okay. How this influenced me and how I see it. It's honestly just the good fucking food.
The
But
good kush. It's like the dessert from like Olive Garden or like
Yes.
Applebee's.
Whatever.
I'm just saying.
It's a dessert, but
not sponsored.
No, but this is a full meal that I'm satisfied to eat over and over again. I love the show. I give it a 9 out of 10 because of those overwhelming episodes. I honestly think that they didn't have that much of underwhelming or just decent sized episodes. I think this would have been like easily a 10 out of 10 show for me. But honestly, the episodes that are really good, I think they're some of the most perfect cartoon animated episodes of any show in ever.
Okay.
I love this show so much. I could literally talk about this for hours and hours on end, but I will do that on a later date.
Yeah, I understand. So basically, that's the end of the episode. So hopefully the next one we do is going to be the one we're currently watching, but if it's not, we will see you guys on another episode. So that's basically our opinion on Gravity Falls. Thank you guys for watching. And be on the lookout.
The universe is a hologram.
Oh, Lord.
Remember that? You remember that?
Oh, gosh. Why are we bringing this up?
The universe is a hologram and bye, go bye.
Okay. Anyway, we can do that in a second. But be on the lookout for our next podcast and subscribe if you guys want to see more of our podcasts and stuff like that. Follow our social medias in the description if you want to. Me and JC both have our own social medias if you want to check them out. And, okay, go ahead now.
All right, see you guys later. Hope you guys have a nice, weird day. Bye.